Coach, first off, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Couldn't help but notice the duct tape and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Any plans to celebrate your birthday in the McGuire household tonight?
No, we do this every year. That's the greatest thing about my birthday. It's in camp. I get to celebrate with my team. A lot of fun. They sang happy birthday when we had our first meeting this morning, and a good energy at practice. I don't know if they gave that to me for my birthday. I'm hoping we get it again tomorrow, but a lot of fun celebrating your birthday with your family and people you love.
I assume your birthday's probably falling on the first day. 2 days of practice at some point.
It has.
What's the coolest story from your birthday during camp?
Honestly, probably that one. I mean, just as far as, I don't know if I've ever been in a dunk tank. You know, Debbie's really good about always making sure that we got cupcakes for the team, and you know, and it's always been a good deal. But I don't know if I've ever been in a dunk tank on my birthday, so that was fun.
Who got you?
Well, first of all, TK got me. Debbie went up there and pushed the button because she missed. But TK's the one that hit the target and knocked me out, Tyler King.
Gabe Oladipo's on the team now. How did he do at practice at his first day?
Good. You know, he came in yesterday. We were able to add him to the group and, you know, get him cleared. It's one of those deals, you know, you're talking about a big human being that's really, really strong and really athletic. And that just adds another person. No matter what it is, whether it's in field goal block or field goal or how many snaps he gets in the game. I mean, anytime you can add big people that can really run. I mean, the guy squatted, I think, 855 pounds, and you know, and so he was eager. You know, came and talked to us. We had to get a waiver for it, and luckily it worked out. You know, the good thing is for him, and he's gonna have a really good opportunity. That's a good room. It's a lot deeper room. You know, Don and I were talking about that right at the start of practice, but it's good to add him.
When did that start? When did he first come in and say, I want to play football?
Well, he kind of talked a little bit during track, but the deal was he was running out of his eligibility, so we had to get a waiver. The NCAA granted that waiver, and so it takes a little bit for that to happen. And that happened yesterday, and we were able to get him everything going. And, you know, we were preparing, and it worked out to where we get him going a lot faster because he's a Texas Tech athlete. So, you know, he has everything ready to go, and we didn't have to do a lot other than just get that waiver.
When was the last time that he played football? And I guess how's it like getting him reacclimated?
You know, high school. And with him, we'll find out. You know, it's not going to be the shape because he's in great shape. You know, he's an athlete. And he's a Division I athlete. With him, it's going to just be technique, and you know, he's got the best technician in the game, and Zarnell Fitch. I think he's an elite coach, and so that, I mean, that's one of the best things. Besides, you know, really, he coaches a lot of passion, but he is a great teacher, and so it's good for him to be in that room with somebody like that to get him going.
I've seen Tyree Wilson just kind of off to the side a little bit just in practice yesterday. I saw him just running up and down the end zone before he rejoined the team. Is there a specific reason for that?
No, just acclimated, getting back in. You know, he didn't finish spring. Again, if it was a game, he would be playing. We feel great. He gets all the walkthroughs, he gets all the individuals, and we're just building him back into where he's absorbing. You know, I feel he'll be full go starting that week going into the second scrimmage. So we were just gradually building him back in. You know, guy that big, it's a strained lower back, and we don't want to put any more pressure on it because, you know, every time you make that contact, so we're just building him back into contact.
Don mentioned before that Larry Moore's not going to be moving back to the offensive line. What went into that process, and why do you think he's more comfortable there?
Numbers. You know, whenever you add Gabe, okay, and then you're sitting there and you're going, okay, I don't know if anybody's getting more reps in the country than we are. You truly, once you come out of Indy, you're having 2 separate practices. There's a red team practicing and there's a black team practicing. And so whenever you added another D lineman, you know, Larry was there and doing a good job for depth. He's young, but he is more comfortable playing the offensive line. And so us getting one more body there allowed us to get one more body on the other side. This team and these guys are really team-oriented. And you know, at the end of practice, I had the DBs stand up because Muddy's sick. He's just sick. He's nothing. He's just got a bug. And so We had some guys take reps at star to do that hadn't done it. And, man, they got in there. B.J. Elston, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, B.J.'s not going back to linebacker. I mean, just seeing him today, that's where he needs to be. So he'll stay out there. Derek Lewis will go back to linebacker. But for us to get those 2 practices, they moved out. I thought they did a great job. We did it because they both can run. So you need a guy that can really run in that spot.
Speaking of those 2 practices, who are some of the guys that really use their summer the best to be ready for those first 2 practices and impressed you so far?
O-line. The O-line, I don't know if I've been around an offensive line that's in better shape coming into camp than those guys are. And that's a credit to Lance and Brandon Lee, who works with the O-line, D-line as our strength staff primarily. And that's a credit to the offensive line of taking that serious. The last 2 practices, there has been a dramatic change in not only their strength and their understanding of offense, but there's been a dramatic change on how they can sustain a practice and in their strength, at the point of attack. We're not in pads, so we'll see how that carries over tomorrow because, football really gets played. This is kind of the underwear Olympics right now. But, football gets played tomorrow when you start putting on shells and then full pads. But I'm really, really happy with the offensive line.
Could you just give us
Cole Spencer?
Same. He is not at the point to where, he had a knee whenever he came back. We knew he's on the same timetable right now as Tyree, but just a little bit different because it's a knee. He's not able to get into Indy. He's getting more work with Drew. And then we'll see in 2 weeks of where he's at, if he's able to get back in. But he came in that way. We knew that. This has been no surprise to us. I mean, whenever Drew first saw him, he said, hey, this is how long it's going to take. This is where we're at. I mean, he's not going to be – we knew from the get-go he wasn't going to be ready, first day of camp.
Coach, could you just give us an overview of practice and what you've seen the first 2 days from your team?
Well, I think we knocked some rust off yesterday. I mean, we had some times on defense that we didn't fit well, and so I think that's just some rust. Today, the energy level was really, really good. I mean, there was you could see those guys going into meetings yesterday, correcting things on both sides of the ball, and then taking those meetings out to the field. And that's a mature football team. Whenever you can go in and you can correct things, you can go through your walkthroughs and you come out to practice and you're correcting those things, then they're paying attention. Our coaches are doing what they're supposed to be doing, being great teachers, and then they're coming out and executing. So I like the energy today.
So back on Cole for a moment.
Yep.
Even though y'all said several times that he knows the offense inside out.
Yeah.
As a plug-and-play guy, how much contact does he have to have before he's ready to actually play the game? In other words, is he possibly going to miss the first or second game or something?
It could be possible if it continues. It's kind of like Tyree. So and it's almost a little bit like naming a quarterback, that we want to get certain amount of reps to name that quarterback. It's the same with them. They're going to have to get enough contact to where we get in. So our plan is to where they can get that full week in that second scrimmage. They're going to get a lot of contact that next week, but our mock game is going to be more on and off the field, making sure we know, who's running out, who's coming off, executing a couple of plays, and then signing autographs and being around a lot of our Red Raider fans.
With Elston going to star, I think you talked about that could happen when you signed him. What do you like about him? What skills does he have that makes him a good fit at star?
He's really explosive, and that can translate inside. But the one thing with him as a freshman right now, he's very explosive, but he's not very tall. So that gets him out of the middle of the box as a young guy and puts him out more in space to where he can use, what he naturally does. And I would have done that from the get-go. The thing about going from linebacker to star is there's a lot more coverage. And so what I just saw today in a little bit of time that I got to see him, like even in 7-on-7, he has the ability, he's raw in that, but he has the ability, the understanding. So, we'll keep him out there, and I think it's going to end up being a good move because, you've got two really old guys in that spot. So, you always look ahead as a coach. You're always like, okay, Muddy's going to be gone, who we're going to be able to step in there. So BJ's going to get a lot of good reps. They're comparable. Muddy's got a lot better man skills, you know, but he's also older, but he has more natural man skills, but they're both very explosive.
Coach, Coach, can you kind of generically give us the rundown for what practice is going to look like for your guys this week? I know they get shells tomorrow, but like what kind of implement you'll be getting ready for this week coming up?
Tomorrow it will be the same as today. The only difference, tomorrow we add in some perimeter blocking. You know, we're a big screen team, so we've got to do a good job. So we'll add that in now that we've got pads on it to be more physical. And then we're going to add in a team run, play action pass. So it'll be the exact same practice. We'll just add in a couple of periods, putting shell zones. Now to go from, it was a tag tempo, now it goes to a thud tempo, to where if you're squared up, instead of tagging off, now we want to really thud and stop the ball versus, you know, just tagging and letting it continue. So that'd be it, you know, same type of practice.
What are your thoughts on Nehemiah Martinez and Trey Cleveland, guys you're working on both the outside and inside? Just what have you seen from them, and just what do you think their role is going to be just this season in the offense?
And what's really good about our team right now, we got some guys with really high football IQs that are willing to learn, and it's more like, hey, I want to get on the field. You know, where can I play? Where can I help this team win? And so they've done a really good job. A lot of our receivers, probably besides Bradley, and probably J.J. Sparkman, they're going to play inside and outside, because the one thing that you do bring into this offense that you haven't had necessarily, and Kinley hadn't had, is you bring in a good group of tight ends. And so now one of those receivers that would normally be in 10 personnel in a spread offense, they're standing on the sideline. So you want to be able to bring them in and out and have really good rotation and play with a lot of speed throughout the game.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Happy birthday.
Appreciate it. Thank y'all.